Hi my dear children, welcome to today's English class. Yes, today we are going to learn a story. I know that you all like stories very much. Am I right? Yes. Today we are going to learn the story from our 10th unit. Can you check and tell me the title of the story? Yes, who will be Ningthou? What's the meaning of Ningthou? Have you heard that word before? No, it's this Manipuri language. What is the meaning of that? No idea. Have anybody gone to Manipur? You know that it is a state of our country, India, right? Have anybody gone? No? Some children, wow. Have you heard that language where they speak? Some of you have heard it. Aha, very good. So when we learn this story, we will get chance to learn some new Manipuri words and let us learn their meanings also. Okay. Not only that, when we learn the story, we can understand the qualities that make a good ruler. Are you ready to learn the story? Yes, you are very eager, right? Okay, now let me read and explain the story for you. See, my dear children, you can see the story in your English textbook, page number 167. Okay, dears, please take page number 167. Okay, I'm going to read the story for you. Okay. Long, long ago, in the land of Kangli Park in Manipur, there lived a Ningthou and a Lima. What is Ningthou? Ningthou means what? Ningthou means king. And Lima means what will be so? Yeah, Kyun. So the story is about a king. So there is a character. King is there. Kyun is there. And where did they live? They lived in the state of Manipur. And what is the land name? It is Kangli Park. They lived in Kangli Park. And in which state? Manipur. And they lived a Ningthou and a Lima. Ningthou means king and Lima means Kyun. Yeah. They were loved dearly by the people. All the people in that land, they loved them very much. And not only the people, then who else loved them very much? Let's see. The Ningthou and Lima on their part never stopped thinking about their Miyam, their people. They were always thinking about their Miyam means Miyam, that is also a Manipuri word. What's the meaning of it? It means people. And they were very good. King and Queen. They loved their people very much. And the people also loved them. And the people, and not only the people, the birds and the animals also loved their king and queen very much. And they said once, our Miyam should be very happy. They said, they are always thinking about their Miyam. Always thinking about their Miyam means people. The people were not only the ones who loved their Ningthou and Lima. The birds and animals too loved them. I said to you, right? Not only the people, the birds and the animals also loved them very much. The Ningthou and Lima always said, everybody in Kangli Park should live in peace. All the birds and the animals and all the people should live in peace. They always said that. And they tried for that. Not only the people, but the birds and animals and trees. Trees also. You think, my dear children? So the king and the queen, they love everything. They loved everything. Their beloved king and queen had 3 sons. How many sons? Yeah, they had 3 sons. Sanachoba, Sanayema and Sanatomba. What were their names? First one, Sanachoba. Second one, Sanayema. And the third one, Sanatomba. 12 years later, after 12 years, what happened? Let's see. A daughter was born. A daughter was born. And what is the name given? Let's see. She was named Sanatombi. What was her name? Sanatombi. She was a lovely child. She was soft and beautiful inside. She was loved by one and all. Everybody loved her very much. She was loved by everybody. She was very lovely and she was very soft. The years went by and the children grew up well. And then one day, the Ningthou called all his ministers and said, and the years passed. Our king and queen, they became old. And once, they called all the ministers and said, what did the king said? Let's see. He said, it is now time to decide the Tungi Ningthou, the future king. Tungi Ningthou means what? That's also a Manipuri word. What's the meaning of that? Yeah, future king. The ministers were shocked, but, oh Ningthou, what is there to decide? Sanachoba, your eldest son will be your future king. So here the ministers asked him, see, king, here the ministers were shocked and but said, what did they say? Oh, Ningthou, what is there to decide? Nothing to decide. Sanachoba, your elder son will be the future king. Then what did he say? Well, the Ningthou said, the king said, that's how it happened in the olden days. It happened in olden days. But now, we need a change. The eldest son always became the king, but times have changed. So, let us select a king who is most worthy of becoming a king. We have to select a person who is having more qualities to be a ruler. We will have a contest to select the future king. The Lema said, the king said, what did she say? Yes, we have to conduct a contest, and from that we have to select the future king. And so in the land of Kangli Park, there was a contest. What was the contest? It was a horse race. Whoever reached the Kongnang, what is that Kongnang? There's another new word for you, right? It's a Manipuri word. And what is the meaning of that? Yeah, its meaning is the banyan tree. First would be declared Tungi Ningthou. So, whoever reached the Kongnang, the banyan tree, would be declared as Tungi Ningthou. That person will be the future king. But then a strange thing happened. Sanajoba, you know what happened? Sanajoba, Sanaema and Sanatomba, all three of them finished the race together. The three sons, they finished the race together. The three winners. Now, how can the king select the future king? Dears, you think? You say, my dears? Let's see what happened next. They were expert riders and all reached the finish line at the same time. There was great excitement. Look at them, the people shouted. All the people, they gathered there. There were all the people in Kangli Park. They all gathered there and they shouted and they said, what did they say? There was great excitement. Look at them, the people shouted, Shakul Thuba Naupa. Shakul Thuba Nupa. Such fine horsemen. What's the meaning? Such fine horsemen. They were very, very good at horse riding. But one question remained. What was that question? Who would be the Tungi Ningthou? Yeah. How can they select the future king? the three finished at the same time. Then Ningthou and Lima turned to their sons. Then Ningthou said, Sanachoba, Sanaema, and Sana Thomba, you have proved that you are fine horsemen. Do something different, each one of you, so that we can decide who will be Tungi Ningthou. So here the king and the queen, they gave another contest for them. They said, you can do whatever you like and you can prove. Suddenly Sanachoba mounted his horse and held his spear straight in front of him. He looked around. There was a hush among the people. What is Sanachoba, the eldest son, going to do? They thought to themselves, full of silence, and they were thinking in their mind, what is he going to do? Sanachoba then looked at the huge Kongnang standing majestically in distance. He looked at the banyan tree. It was a big tree and it was standing majestically. He pierced the tree and jumped his horse right through it. So what did he do? What did he do, my dear children? Sanachoba then looked at the huge Kongnang standing majestically in the distance. He pierced the tree and jumped his horse through it, right through it. With a spear, he pierced the tree and jumped through it. Wow, what an action. All the people, they wondered and they said, Bravo, bravo, the people shouted. Tharu, Tharu. And they fell silent. All the people together said, Tharu, Tharu means what? Bravo, bravo. Saying that they kept silent. Now it was the turn of the second son. Now the turn of the first son, Sanachoba. It's over now. Now it is the turn of second son. And what is his name? Sanaema. Yeah, right. Let's see what is he going to do. Yeah. Now it was the turn of the second son, Sanaema. What would he do? Sanaema too looked at the Kongnang as he mounted his horse. Then he too rode towards the tree harder and harder. The people watched it in silence. They all were in silence. And they were watching what is he going to do. Afraid even to breathe. They were afraid even to breathe. Such a silence. When he was really close, he urged his horse to jump. Higher and higher. The horse rose until horse and rider jumped clear over the huge tree and landed on the other side in a wonderful motion. So what did he do? He jumped over the huge banyan tree. What an action! The people breathed in relief and said in unison, they said, Fajay, Fajay, wonderful, wonderful. And now it was the turn of the youngest son. So, here the eldest son, Sanachoba, he did his, and second son, Sanaema, he also did his. Now, let's see what is the third son is going to do. And now, it was the turn of the second, it was the turn of the youngest son. What is his name? Yeah, Sanathomba. Now, the third son, that is the youngest son, Sanathomba is going to do. He too rode his horse towards the Kongnang, the banyan tree, and before anybody knew what was happening, uprooted it. Dear children, he uprooted the tree. Wow, just think. Triumphantly, he carried the tree to the Ningthou and Lima and laid it at their feet. What did he do? He carried the tree and he placed the tree in front of the king and queen. Let's see. Shouts of Tauru, Tauru, Fajay, Fajay filled the mountains. All the people shouted and their sound filled the mountains. Filled the mountains. See, think, all the people, they became very happy. The people grew restless. Now all the people, they kept silence. Why were the Ningthou and Lima taking so long to make the announcement? Now it is the time to make the announcement. All the people, they were eagerly waiting to get the announcement. And they were thinking who will be the future king. The queen, they are next to see what was happening. Some people, they craned and they want to know what is happening. The Ningthou and Lima were watching Sanatombi, their 5-year-old daughter. So what the king and the queen, they were doing, you know? They were looking at their 5-year-old daughter, Sanatombi. She looked sad and lonely. She was looking very sad and she felt very lonely. She stared at the Kongnang which lay dead by the throne. She was looking at the huge Kongnang tree. It was laying the ground. Birds flapped worriedly around the tree. So on the tree there were lived a lot of birds. They were flying around the tree hurriedly. They don't know what happened. They lost their nest. They lost their homes. And they were crying and flying. Birds flapped worriedly around, searching for their homes in the tree. Now they lost their homes. From there, now where they will live? Where can they live? Sanatombi walked up to the Kongnang and whispered. What did our Sanatombi, what did she do? She walked up to the Kongnang and whispered. The Kongnang is dead. It was hurt by the spear and now it is dead. First it is hurt by the spear. Who did that? The second son with his spear pierced the tree. Now, the youngest son, what did he do? He uprooted the tree. Now it lost its life. Not only the tree, for the birds, they also lost their home. The people were all attention. The Ningthou stood up. Now the king, he stood up. He looked at the 3 boys. He looked at the 3 boys. He looked at the little girl, then he looked at the little girl. He turned to the people, then he looked at the people and he said, what did he say? If anybody is worthy of becoming the ruler, who will be? He said, it is little Sanatombi, who has the qualities to become a ruler. It is for our Sanatombi, our youngest, the small, our only little daughter, Sanatombi. It was she who told us to look at the soul of the Kongnang. Sanatombi feels the pain of others. She can understand the pain of others. She feels the pain of the people. A person who can understand the pain of a tree only can understand the pain of people. The animals, the birds and the trees, she can understand the pain of everything. All the living things. So, she has the qualities to be a ruler. I declare Sanatombi the future Lima of Kangli Park. So, our Sanatombi, she will be the future Lima of Kangli Park. The Ningthou said. A silence fell. Everyone turned to look at the little girl. their future king, their future queen. Everyone turned to look at the little girl, their future queen. There she stood, all afire, like a small conch, with birds flying all around her. She stood there like a conch, the banyan tree, and all the birds, they flew around her. They sat on her shoulder, on her head. Some of the birds, they sat on her head. Some of the birds, they sat on their shoulders. She held out her hand full of grain, and the birds flapped about her and pecking at the food. And she gave food to them, some grains. She took it and she gave. Elima is one who doesn't hurt anybody in the kingdom. So who should be Elima? Elima is one who doesn't hurt anybody in the kingdom. Anybody in the kingdom should not hurt anybody. So dear children, this is about the story. I hope the story is clear to you. And who is the author of the story, you know? Yeah, it is Indira Mukherjee. She wrote this poem, this story. It's a beautiful story, my dear children. Everybody, please read the story once again. And there are some new words given. You can see that in new word column. Peace, it means quiet. Worthy means deserving of. Contest means competition. Spear means hunter's weapon. Triumphantly means victoriously. They are the new words. So my dear children, you please take your English notebook and write all these new words and their meanings in your English notebook and try to make some sentences with all these new words. So the new words you can learn it well. Okay, so that's all. Let's see in the next class. Bye.